Oh, here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. Just a little mechanical hiccup there. And welcome in on our weekly adventure with Coy Malone, our social justice contributor. Hello, Coy. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you, Sybil?
Your energy seems much lower than I would expect on a Monday like this, but maybe that's just me and the weekend that I had.
It is a little low, but
You doing okay?
yeah, life.
Life and life be life and.
It is. It's not anything that's like I would say really like detrimental or anything like that. But as you grow older, you observe different things in life and you learn some pretty serious lessons. And I think I learned some pretty big lessons over the weekend. So I'm just kind of like mentally processing everything.
Okay. And as you grow even older, some of those things aren't as grand and as impactful as they say as you were when you were a few years younger.
Right.
So,
Yep.
yeah, but you will continue to go through life and it be lifing as it were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you
And
go
nothing's
outside and play this weekend?
well, I had my family reunion this weekend.
Oh, nice.
So that
So the
was
food,
eventful.
how was the food?
The food was good.
Okay, because you've got a lot of peculiarities about your diet.
Yeah, still had them. I still had them. So, I pretty much ate sides
Okay,
is what I
okay.
had. And I did look up on a turkey neck. So that happened because it was left over in the green bean. So,
Oh, okay. So you do. Well, speaking of people and their diets, we have a special guest coming up. Jackie Reed is going to join us, our friend from the Old Joyner Show, journalist and vegan queen, as well as J. Anthony Brown is going to join us. We're going to talk about what happened to the country over the weekend, or how people responded to what happened to the former president. And let me ask you, while you were there with the family, did you all talk? What was it happening as you all were together on Saturday?
yeah, it happened as we were all together. So, by the time I got home, because, it's quite a drive from where my family is, I'm scrolling through social media and I'm like, am I really seeing this right now? Like, an assassination attempt, or was this an attack, or what was this? There were so many questions, and then there were so many updates that happened so fast afterwards, and
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, okay. And then there came the, was this staged, or
Right,
this
and
is
then
staged
and that's one of the
accusations.
things that we're going to talk about
Hmm.
when we bring on and welcome in Jackie and J. Anthony Brown. So let's talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday effort. It is absolutely free. We'd love to have you subscribe as we seek to super serve the African American community. And this is stories not only just about Black folks, but how it affects Black folks. And Coy is our social justice contributor. And today she talks about something that's familiar in her theme of stories. Coy talks about another Black man killed, this not with an encounter with police, but with hotel security at a Hyatt Regency Hotel in Milwaukee, which is the site of the Republican National Convention. That one does not have to do with the other. I was just pointing out that this is where it happened, and it happened about a month ago.
Yes, and it almost makes me wonder, is this something that's going to be addressed at the Republican National Convention?
You don't have to wonder
Right,
that.
right. I know. It's like wishful thinking, wishful
Okay.
thinking.
Okay.
So the story is about 43-year-old Devontae Mitchell, who is Black. He died after being pinned to the ground by hotel security guards in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And basically, what happened was he went downtown to the Hyatt Regency on June 30th, where police say he caused a disturbance and fought with security guards as they escorted him out. Now, four security guards pinned him face down on the ground outside of the hotel until police arrived. Some of the incident was captured on camera, and one of the bystanders on camera said that this is what happens when you go into the ladies' restroom. Mitchell is also yelling for help, and they're not really doing anything about it. They're not responding. So two of the security guards in the video are kneeling on his back and head, while two others are holding down his legs and arms.
And if this sounds familiar to you, let's just go back 4 years and to something that happened in Minnesota. I'm sorry.
It's just, you would think after seeing so many people die in the same exact way that police, security guards, um, emergency workers and responders would
Hmm.
be more wary of these tactics, and yet we see them being used again. So the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner said that Mitchell's preliminary cause of death is homicide, and the final results have not yet been determined. Civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump is now representing Mitchell's family and said that a witness statement reported Mitchell being struck in the head with an object. So there's another detail that was not reported by the police. And the Milwaukee Police Department referred felony charges for those that are involved. And it's up to the district attorney's office to make the final determination. So those referrals of charges, according to Attorney Crump, is a significant step towards justice. Because, in my opinion, when we start to see these recommendations for charges, then we're moving in the direction of someone actually being brought forth and prosecuted and arrested, not just, charged, but also convicted. So I've also noticed when it comes down to security guards, I see a lot of them that are pretty overzealous. I don't know if
Hmm.
it's because they, failed at their chance at the police academy, or that they want to kind of prove that they're just as strong and tough as police, or want to have the same type of respect. But time and time again, I've seen several stories and instances of men and women who have dealt with overzealous security guards. But it's
And not to
unfortunate that
mention
this
they're
person died.
often the butt of jokes about, security guards are just cops with a clipboard, that kind of thing. And there is also the concern, Coy. I don't know if you talked about this in the story. I read it somewhere about maybe he had some sort of mental episode.
Yeah, so his mother did mention, within this article that we do have linked in our newsletter, that she believes that he was having an episode. It's unclear whether or not he's diagnosed. I didn't do enough research to confirm that or not. However, we do know that mental health shows up in a variety of different ways, and episodes are not just limited to those who are diagnosed. Sometimes people have different things going on in their life that can
Hmm.
cause a lot of different pressure internally, and it will express itself externally in an episode. So you have to kind of be aware and wary of that as well when people are having a hard time.
And these security guards, have they been fired by the Hyatt, or are they put on leave, or what?
As far as I know, I haven't confirmed that any of those details either. Usually, when it comes down to security guards and situations like this, they are suspended or fired immediately because of the severity of the situation.
Right, they
And then
killed a
there's an
man.
investigation, right? Usually, when they're under investigation like that, then they are taken off duty. And
Mm.
I'm just speaking from experience from, previously working in a club for 7 years, where there were different incidents where there were fights, and then there was an incident where a shooting took place, and the security guard that was in charge of making sure that there were no guns at the entry and stuff like that was fired immediately. Um, and they didn't wait on the investigation results. So I think it really depends on the severity of the case.
So this man, he was the funeral was held over the weekend. He was funeralized, for lack of a better word, by Reverend Al Sharpton. And when you say,
Eulogized.
yeah, eulogized, um, the Reverend Al Sharpton and Ben Crump, his attorney, is continuing on the case. They're like the dynamic duo of cases like this. And it was very sad. A father of two, husband and father of two, called very loving, and it just may have been one of those crazy things that happened, right? That he may have had an episode. He may have had some sort of mental, not a breakdown, but some sort of mental episode. And we are in July, and our mental health and wellness contributor, um, April at Russell, has already talked about this being Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. And this, it would behoove a lot of the businesses, organizations, wherever you work, it would behoove you to get mental health professionals in to be able to recognize some of the signs. Because if these people have recognized this man was in distress, they may not have, they may have called 988, and they may have had someone who could further help him in his distress, and not have chased him out, possibly hit him with something, which may have led to his death, but certainly putting him into a chokehold of sorts that really may have led to his demise. And so it's really incumbent upon us to encourage people to. I know there's a lot of negativity surrounding mental health
Mhm.
and things like that, but we have to. We're saving our lives as perhaps as well as other people's lives by recognizing the signs and getting them help. And in this case, it was not the police. Well, the police said when they got there, he was already deceased.
Right. And another thing that I want to kind of bring awareness to, when it comes down to some of these situations, I have, in recent years, knew someone that dealt with a serious diagnosis and would have episodes from time to time. And this person ended up at a hotel and had no one to call, because emergency responders were called to the scene, but also police were called to the scene.
Mhm.
So another thing that I did see going through that experience with that person is sometimes there are health responders that are there, but if the person does not take the medical help, then oftentimes they will rely on police force
Right.
to enforce that some kind of way. So
To
there still needs to
physically
be, right,
confine them. Right.
right. So there still needs to be some type of entity in between that. 988 is great, but there needs to be some other type of emergency responders that are not police, but who are trained with restraining these type of people, not harmfully, but able to, corral them in a sense in order to get them towards the medical treatment without hurting them.
Right.
That should be the main goal and main focus, because there was a concern when this person had the episode that I had to let them know, listen, if you don't get into this ambulance right now, they are going to take you to jail and I can't do anything about that, and who knows what they're going to do.
And lucky
So
they were able to talk to him because there was no talking to this gentleman. They
right.
just physically uh, let their physical size do the talking and then bringing him down. One of the other things that April had talked about was taking a mental first aid class, and it helps those of us who may encounter or know people in our lives. We may be related to them, friends with them, just casual work acquaintances or whatever, but in order to better assist them in a time of crisis.
Right.
So which is something we're going to talk about. One of the good job, Coy, on this, and hopefully we'll keep up to date on this as the charges and what happens with this hotel staff members who are in a part of this, uh, and what happens to them and the case against them, and hopefully some justice given to Devontae's family.
That's what
Mhm.
we pray for.
Absolutely. One of the other things we talk about in the newsletter, it's Ministry Monday, and the wonderful Willie Mae McIver writes about how to serve God. It's very funny. I came home to look at the mock-up of the newsletter after going to church yesterday and doing some work and how to serve God. And I thought, well, I think I'm doing it. I'm going to church, and not every Sunday, obviously, but when I can. And but it is she does a really great job about how we can best serve God, and talking about being a servant of God. To serve or to be a servant is not just something you casually do. As a Christian, it's a requirement, your duty, and a part of your calling. And I would say as a part of other religions as well, and not just a part of Christianity. But that is her wheelhouse. So great job on that, Willie Mae. And once again, if you'd like to be a part of our newsletter, we'd love to have you subscribe. Please go to SybilWilkes.com. Give us your name and your email address. We'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday morning. If you don't receive it, go to SybilWilkes.com. If go first of all, check your spam and your junk file and see if it didn't find its way in there. And if that's not the issue, then go to SybilWilkes.com and give us the information, and we'll have our crack staff, our crack technical staff, go in and get you back on the rolls. And the other thing I'd like to ask you before we bring on Jackie and Jay is please open it when you receive it every day. Please open it. The open rate really helps us a lot. If you go, well, these many people, subscribe, or how many open it, how many, really take a look at your newsletter every day, and that helps us as well. So please and thank you. We appreciate it. It's now time for us to move to the what's really going on segment. And this has to do with the events of the weekend. And I thought, what better persons to invite on within the two of the people that I spent most of the time conversing with over the weekend. Now, one is a person I talk to every day. He is my wake up call in a lot of cases regarding what he has done now, and he could be any number of people. And she is a good friend and a colleague from the Old Tom Joyner Morning Show, and she is a journalist and, as I said, the vegan queen of our world. Let us welcome in Jackie Reed. Hey, Jackie, how are you?
Hey, Sybil, how you doing? Hi, Coy.
Hey, Jackie. Uh-oh.
And your nemesis, Jackie.
Oh my God. He lives to give me a hard time. It's never a phone call without the harassment.
Yeah. That comes with it, Jackie. You're absolutely right.
What up, Jackie? How you doing?
Yeah, whatever, Jay. No, hey, Jay. It's good to see you.
It is good to see you. We've been talking. I stopped eating meat, Sybil, and I've been talking to Jackie. It was a struggle, but now I'm kind of used to it. So it's probably been about 8 months, but I do miss chicken and skins. So hey.
Jackie, you sent us a post today
That's what Jeffrey Dahmer said.
Wow. He sent a post in one of our group texts today about missing pork rinds. He said, I really miss pork rinds, but I miss y'all more. I think you
I do.
Pork rinds.
Yeah, he's always sending me information about chitlins because I used to
Coy, Jackie was infamous for her chitlins as far as Anthony Brown was
with my hot sauce. With my hot sauce, so really? I thanked her for that. So it's good.
Wow. I can't touch those things.
Me either. And I'm not a vegan or anything. I just can't. I won't.
Or as Jackie just to let you know how deep into how much of a meat eater I was, chitlins, wings, all kinds of things, and gave it all up. And
I know.
And you gave up Chick-fil-A too.
Yes.
That was a hard.
That is a hard one. I ain't gonna lie.
How long has it been?
That was hard.
Not eating meat, Jackie. How long?
6.5 years.
It's been 6.5 years. Wow.
I know, crazy.
And look how healthy and young and vital you look.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
They will be saying 6.5 years very soon.
Yeah, I had a turkey neck this weekend. I ain't gonna lie.
You fell off the wagon, huh?
I fell off the wagon a few years ago. I know my limit. I have meat at least, I would say 4 times a year. So I'm like, I'll say I'm 98% there.
So you all are vegetarian-ish.
Yeah.
Now, Jackie, you don't eat eggs at all, right? Or anything, right? No eggs,
no dairy.
No dairy.
Yeah, no dairy.
No, none of it. None of it.
Myself and David and
Gregory all in the same club.
All right.
Y'all are in there together. God bless you. And God bless his memory. Jackie, I don't know what you were drinking on Saturday, but perhaps you had to take some sort of vegan alcohol beverage as a result of the news that came across on Saturday about 6 o'clock. It was a few minutes after 6, and the news wires went crazy, and all of the alerts went off, and that Donald Trump had been shot. He was at a political rally in Pennsylvania, just north of Philadelphia, I believe, and in a big area, open field, as it were. And you could see him grab his hand and go down and come back up, and his hand was was blood in his hand, and then you could see the blood kind of smeared along the side of his face. But here's what got me, and I'll tell that later. So the people scattered about, and then the Secret Service people, they all jumped up on stage. but why weren't they on stage in the first place? Where was it they had to jump up on stage while this man is giving a speech in the open, out of doors? So they scampered. They performed. They became a human barrier. They got him and tried to move him out. He was not being very cooperative. First of all, so they have not had exercises to go through this. He was very concerned about his shoes. And as he was trying to raise a fist, and poor little Secret Service lady, she was catching it because he was trying to raise his fist and give people, that he was okay. And he's doing like this, and he's like beating her on the head.
Oh my
and
God.
scooting him out, trying to get him off the stage and into the car. And but not without him raising the fist and saying, "Fight, fight, fight," over
Fight
and
who?
over and over again. Right?
Who we fighting?
Right. His ego.
Who we fighting?
Who was he fighting was the question a lot of people were asking, Jackie.
His other personality.
Well,
Yeah.
I think with the Republican Party, as long as it's considered a fight, it's against whoever is not like them.
Who's
And
not
so
with
that's
them.
basically what the fight is about. Whoever is not like them, we're fighting against, because they're taking away whatever it is they think we're taking away from them. So we have to fight. And it's really no fight, because they pretty much own most of it and control pretty much everything. So really, what is the fight about? I don't understand it. I just don't. But those are words that they use to rouse up his followers. We gotta fight, And you like you said,
bloodbath, and
yeah,
Yeah.
fight for what? What are you fighting for? Right.
All of the fighting words.
Yeah. I mean, it's so funny, when it happened, or when it came across, the television and everything. I was walking my dog, and I was coming in, and my mother yelled out to me, somebody tried to shoot Trump or something like that. I was like,
Right.
it was so kind of like, they tried to
Right.
shoot Trump. I was like, yeah, okay. And I came in, and I turned on the TV, and I was like, oh my God, this is, it was
This is real.
play of it again and
Yeah.
again and again. And I mean, first thing out of when I first was watching it, I of course was like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
Mhm.
I am a skeptic.
Here it comes, all right?
You are.
I am a skeptic. I have to have facts. Nothing drives me crazier than to hear people say things like, well, Trump got hit in the ear by a bullet. Says who? Where was that ballistic test? Where was that? Didn't go to the hospital. Even the FBI wouldn't answer questions specifically about whether or not he was hit by a bullet. They refute. They said, we're not going to talk about that when they talked to media this morning. So it's like, but people are so quick. I'm like, where did you hear that? So my first thought was, wow, this seems staged. I was like, in what world is Donald Trump, who to me seems to be a bit of a coward, where is he? In what world does he feel safe enough when there's an active shooter, and at the moment where they're taking him off the stage, is he a lone shooter? What do we know? They don't know on that stage. How does he feel comfortable enough not only to take his time? Let me get my shoes.
Yeah, let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
One shoe and then the other shoe. And then hang on.
I'm kind of with you, Jackie, but
where does that come from? To me, this is my first conspiracy theory thought. It's like, unless you're in on it, unless you know it's staged, where does that? Because who doesn't run when there are shots fired, particularly at you? If you think it's at you, what is all this? And what is, let me get my shoes? Yeah. Who's trying to get their shoes when you're getting shot at?
Especially
those
shoes
are
that you can buy 50
expensive
times
shoes.
over.
Those are some expensive shoes because they have lifts in them, Jackie. So,
and I mean, and probably it's like they kept him on the ground forever.
Yeah.
It's just like, what was going on down there? And even though they were mic'd and we could hear that, right? I assumed that there was a fixing of the hair going on, or to kind of like get that swirl going again. You know what I mean? But then it comes up and there's the blood. And so my first thought was, this is an act. This is staged. But as details, as a journalist, I wait for the facts, right? I'm not tweeting that out. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I'm thinking this. So I let the facts come in. Okay. They've killed a shooter. Other people in the crowd,
died, a fireman, right?
Okay, so this is a real shooting.
Mhm.
But then when the facts come out about the shooter, 20-year-old, registered Republican, right? So this would be the first time he's voting because now he's of age, who managed to scale the one building that the Secret
One
Service
building in
happens to not be
all of
monitoring. In all the buildings, he manages to get up that building that the Secret Service is not monitoring, and nor is the local police. How did he know to choose that building?
Well, I look at it.
So my thing is like,
Go ahead.
either there are two things, and then I'll stop. So to me, there are two scenarios we're working with here, and I don't have facts to support either. But this is where I'm waiting for facts to support this.
Mhm.
One, there was, and someone did try to kill him.
Mhm.
From the Republican Party for whatever reason, or two, I'm not gonna name names, but it could be so many people hate him. I mean, nobody from his former administration is even a part of,
Right. If they're not in jail,
his
right.
campaign or anything. They're either in jail or they hate him. And then number two, it was orchestrated by someone in the Trump campaign to make his candidacy stronger. Right. You've got this picture with blood on his face. Now he's fine. Now he's going into the day before the Republican National Convention. And now he goes in and the media is basically muted. No one wants to say anything bad. Joe Biden wants to take down his negative campaign ads. Everybody's just being just all the decorum in the world.
Oh, respectful. Yeah.
If it were switched, Trump would not have any sympathy, for Joe Biden and an attempt on his life. But those are my two theories, but I'm still not convinced.
I look
So
at,
wait a minute, Jay. Let me just point out to you, Jay Anthony Brown. Jay was not quick to respond, and I knew why, because he was going all white girl fan over Michael McDonald at a show Saturday night, and so he was at a Michael McDonald concert,
okay.
and
I have to not be the only black person who likes Michael McDonald. But
you were the only one who.
Yes. But with that being said, I don't think you could approach Donald Trump. I don't think you could approach Donald Trump with a plan. What? We're going to attempt to assassinate you, and listen to me good. You have to get shot in the ear, and that's
and he's a sharp shooter.
Not grazed by a bullet, not bullet over the head. We need you to make this look real. We need you to get shot in the ear. I just think the Secret Service regarding somebody who's just almost impossible to guard. He's totally against whatever it is they're trying to do. This isn't the first time. When he had COVID, he made them drive him around in the car. So
even after that,
Trump.
Even after that, he had a case with on January 6th where he wanted to go back, and
he wanted to go back
over the front seat and turn the damn car
you're trying to protect somebody who will not listen to you at all, and it's amazing he didn't get shot again. Had not they taken the sniper out. So I don't believe there's a conspiracy. I think it was real, and like people were saying, he's lucky to be alive, but he's going to use this to his advantage. He's definitely going to use this to his advantage.
That's what I'm saying. Again, no proof, no facts. But what I'm saying is, if they said to him, listen now, we're going to have this staged shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And look at his reaction. We're not going to hit you, but they're going to win. You're going to, we're going to have this. And when you look at it, when he holds his ear, it's like, they hit me. You know what I mean? It's like they said they weren't going to hit me. Now I know I do believe it was an actual shooting. My thing is, who was behind it and what was the reason?
And
this shooter, 20 years old, no social media. It just seems like the perfect person that someone could hire to do something like this. Who's behind it? Who's behind it?
You also have to understand how close a white person can get to Donald Trump as opposed to a black person. Black with a rifle could never be on the roof. Somebody white could be on the roof and they go, well, there's a guy on the roof. We don't know. If there was a black man on the roof with a rifle, he would have been reported right away. So,
No, there would have been no reporting. There would have been a quick
being
shooting.
white allows you to walk in that circle where you can get close to anybody. And we live in a society where anybody at any time can be assassinated. I don't care how much security you have on you. At any time. That's what we live in now. That's just the way we live now. You know, it's but by the grace of God, nothing has happened to Biden or by the grace of God that Trump wasn't assassinated. But you can get close to elected officials. This is not something that can happen, that we can't say it doesn't happen. It happens all the time. School shootings, church shooting, grocery stores.
This is why I was so confused by all of these poor people in Pennsylvania in gun country, where they was like, the violence, and the guns, where did they come from?
Thank you. What is all that? It's like everybody is just like, oh my God, let's just take a moment.
Right.
How are you processing?
Now we're taking a moment, right?
Now we're taking a moment.
Yeah.
I mean, really? Now we're how are you, like everything that's been going on, you know, in the Middle East, in Gaza.
Right. Yep.
Yes.
Forget about that.
Yes.
Forget about the children
Now,
killed in their
The Middle
classrooms.
East, Florida, Miami, Tennessee, Atlanta, you name the place.
Everywhere. You know, right now, somebody's being shot in front of somebody.
No, it was a temple in Philadelphia, you know, where people were going to temple on a Saturday and they were slaughtered. It was
right.
It's everywhere. And for them to say, we just never understood. We've never seen anything like this.
Let's take a moment and chill out. I think the thing that really shocked me and was really, I was using the words taken aback, was let's have thoughts and prayers. And I'm not trying to be mean. I really don't want anybody to get shot or anything, but I am not wasting my thoughts and prayers on Donald Trump. It's not going to happen, because this is the same guy who's done so many evil things to so many people. It's not surprising that this happened to him.
He ordered the execution of 13 persons that were on death row last year. There were a few of them that were black men. Some of them had evidence showing that they were innocent.
Kim
and he did not care.
You know, Kim Kardashian convinced him to save a black woman.
Right.
So there's that. To look at what happened in the aftermath of this, Joe Biden, you know, tried to lower the temperature and to raise the humanity in all of this, and they weren't having it. You know, he spoke to the country twice yesterday. Once from the Oval Office and said, you know, let's not use bullets, let's use ballots, and let's do this. And the first response was from J.D. Vance, who is now the man who is going to be Donald Trump's running mate, blaming the Democrats, and said, you know, this is all your fault. You have started this, and so now, and when that happened, I don't know if we even talked about it, I said, there's his running mate, and he is doing the dirty work for Donald Trump now. Donald Trump will be able to say, oh, that's just JD. Oh no, he will be able to feed him all of this stuff, and he will be the evil warrior. He will be the Hitler that he once accused Donald Trump of.
I think the big problem with J.D. Vance being picked as the vice president is what is Tim Scott going to tell that white woman? I mean, what?
I thought it was me.
There's a white woman that's going to be put back on the streets very shortly.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that what's interesting about this is just, you know, everything that Donald Trump is able to get away with and how half of this country supports him. I mean, J.D. Vance is so unqualified, less qualified than Trump was when he went into the White House if something happens to Trump, this is not who you want stepping in. Right. As you know, compared to Kamala Harris, who is more than qualified to step in if anything happens to Joe Biden. That's what you think about when you choose your vice president.
And even with Mike Pence, you thought, okay, I'm not a Mike Pence fan, and he's too conservative for my taste, but He has been in the House for years. He's been a governor. He understands the ways of Washington and politics and also how to get things done. Now, his knowledge got him in trouble on January 6th, obviously,
Yeah.
but he knew and he was a good backup for Donald Trump. JD Vance is a man who scares me
Yeah.
because
Well, and the other case is that it's a good fit for Donald Trump because first of all, you have somebody who was totally against Donald Trump, and now to be on the ticket, it's a person who's definitely not going to get out of line, and that's what Trump really needed is somebody who's going to talk the talk for him and him not have to worry about Vance getting out of line because he's not. He's already been out of line. You reel him in. Now he's going to do all the dirty work, like you said, that Trump wants done.
so.
And
Our
he
time.
also
Hang on one second, darling. Our time is up for this segment. Can you all stick around for another
I
round?
got. Oh no, I
Okay.
can say I can.
Jackie, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and Coy, you'll be with us. All right, so we're going to move to trending and continue our conversation. Yes, Coy, I'm sorry.
two things. The first thing that I think that convinced Donald Trump to bring on this running mate is the fact that he wrote a book called Hillbilly Elegy. So I think that's enough qualification.
Have you read the book? Have you seen the movie?
Which
I
focused
have
on the
not.
poverty of white people, drug epidemic in the
And
white
bringing the
community.
whole opiate
right,
crisis to
Yeah,
the
opioid
masses.
crisis, like that never existed anywhere else. Like only
Never,
white
ever.
people.
He opened our eyes.
Oh my
To the
God.
poverty and to the real poverty in America,
The
to the real
struggle,
struggle with drugs in America.
please. And through my research, apparently what hit Donald Trump was a piece of glass from a teleprompter.
That's what I was also
Yes,
going to mention. So the
that's what
question was it a bullet or was it glass from the teleprompter?
Well, they say now they have a picture of the
TMZ is
bullet.
reporting.
Yes.
They got a picture of a bullet whizzing by.
Right.
They don't have a real picture. Because come on, that machinery, if that bullet even grazes your ear, that's gonna hurt like a mug.
Right.
Yeah, you're not
It's
getting up.
gonna blow part of your ear off. And
Right.
Donald Trump it hit him and he's looking around. That wasn't a bullet. He's looking around like, what was that? Was that a mosquito?
Well, I think I told Sybil that now him and Holyfield have something in common. They both are missing part of their ear. So I know. I'm sorry.
Donald Trump, his ear is not even, there's no part of his ear missing.
There's a hole in his ear. There is a hole in his ear.
Hole in his head.
There's a hole in here, so he's gonna put an earring in it, and
They probably and after when they left, reporters were at the closest hospital and it was locked up, but he never arrived at that hospital. Where did he go? Right. Did he go and get on his plane and fly to a hospital where doctors would say it was a bullet? And then when reporters asked this morning, there were these reports, was it a bullet? FBI said no comment.
That's because we went to the same doctor that gangsters go to when they get shot.
There's never been a shooting of a public official in this country where there hasn't been some sort of conspiracy theory. We're still talking about the Kennedy shooting as long as that happened years ago. So there's always going to be conspiracy theories behind it. But I believe he was shot. I believe it was just somebody who hated him, and it was a Republican. I think
there's no evidence that he hated him. There was no evidence.
I think shooting him is
he didn't shoot him. Maybe he was there to shoot up the rally. I mean, how bad of a shot can you be?
Unfortunately, people were killed.
A lot of space. How bad of a shot do you have to be? You're gonna go through all that and then you're gonna miss?
He missed the target and killed one man. And
the fire
wasn't trying to shoot it to hit Trump at all.
And the other thing about that, when we were talking about things that just looked amiss to me, was the crowd behind him when he got down, and then they were looking around, and then all of a sudden
did not move a muscle. They were like
they were looking like gophers.
That would have been a stampede if it was all black people in there.
Yeah,
they would have ran over Trump and the Secret Service. They would have
ran before the first bullet flew.
Well, you do know white people like to get videos, so that's just probably part of it.
They run towards the trouble.
They won't run towards trouble. They do.
And where were the
die
blacks
first
on Saturday?
Movies.
Huh?
Where were the blacks for Trump on Saturday?
I don't know. I didn't see any.
They refused to be back there. They were not in on it.
They were not there. Right.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
They were
they
like,
were.
you
They got
can't pay me enough to be in this crowd today.
not today.
The guy they interviewed after the shooting. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That was
Well,
another
one
thing.
guy said, adding on to the conspiracy, that it was Obama. Obama did it.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, there are now the conspiracy theorists, the real ones. Like I said, mine are I'm just throwing stuff out there based on facts and waiting for facts to come in. The fact that he was hit by glass, not a bullet, very
Mhm.
possible. That the
Mhm.
shooter was able to scale that wall and get up on a roof with a rifle, broad
White,
daylight, the
white,
one building that the Secret
And get
Service
off a shot.
happens to
white.
not be watching.
Okay,
I
but
mean,
I guess the real question too, at the end of once everything is settled, kind of, is it a conspiracy? Is it real? Will this either entice people to vote or make it so as if people say, you know what, I'm not going to vote at all? I mean,
it's going to make Republicans, people that were leaning towards Trump and just felt like, oh, he's so negative, he's so this is going
this
to get
changes their mind, right?
it's going to get sympathy votes for him, I
Right.
think.
For sure.
Right.
For
Yeah,
sure.
people are going to be like, oh, look at, oh man, he's so strong, and they're going to get this, this wind of, oh my God, he's amazing, he's so powerful and tough. Look at our president. I can't.
Like how he stood
and
on the
look
balcony and tried not to cough when he had COVID.
and look at who Joe Biden is pictured to be.
Yeah.
Well, but and like you said, had it been the other way around, there's no way Trump would have called Biden to see if he was okay. He just wouldn't do that, Yeah.
No,
And
I mean, Kamala already reached out to JD Vance to congratulate him and welcome him to the race. He won't even take her call. Now, maybe
she left a voicemail.
Convention. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so just some thoughts on JD, and both of you guys, and Coy. First of all, he was a never the Trumper. Now never Trumper. Now he
they
is the
all
vice
were never
presidential.
Trumpers, Sybil. All
No,
of them.
not. They
Yeah.
didn't like him,
Yeah.
but I'll take the job if offered to
Yeah.
me. But JD Vance made that 180-degree turn, calling Donald Trump America's Hitler, reportedly calling him cultural heroin, and the tip may have been in his favor, as he posted on his social media not some isolated incident, and suggested that President Biden's campaign was at least in part to blame. The central premise of the Biden campaign is that President Donald Trump is authoritarian fascist who must be stopped at all costs. And that rhetoric led directly to President Trump's attempted assassination. Those are his words. And those are the words that really Trump said, that's my guy.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
I don't understand it, but I'm glad to say I don't speak Trump. I don't understand why he makes the decisions that he makes. I mean, I really wish that I could be a fly on the wall to understand the strategy behind decisions.
There's no strategy, Jack.
That they make.
It's a paycheck.
I think the sad.
I don't understand it.
I'm not saying it's really a sad part, but the people who really did the dance for Trump, I mean, really went out there and did the buffoonery, the stupidity, and he didn't pick any of those. And Sybil and I talked about, I knew it wasn't going to be anybody black.
Yeah.
Oh, we know that.
No, there was no, I don't care how much Tim Scott was going to dance or whatever and get pre-engaged or whatever it was. He was never going to get picked. Never.
No.
He probably, tried to talk himself into it that he was going to, because his name see, my name's still there, but no, it wasn't.
It was never going to happen because Trump wouldn't do that to his base.
You're right. Yeah.
He can't do that with his base.
You can let a black man speak against black people, but you can't pick a black man to run as your running mate. You can get all these,
right, to be in line to be president. If something happens to you, we did that with Barack Obama. We can't have another black person.
We can't have another black man. which is the reason they hate Kamala, because she's black. I mean, it has nothing to do with her intelligence or how smart she is. She's way smarter than than Trump and JD Vance. But because of her skin color, she's not the right one. But then the other thing for me, Jackie and everybody, I don't understand these blacks for Trump. I just don't get it. I can't. I don't
I
get
think you'll make yourself miserable just trying to figure them out, Jay. I
I
don't think
think
that's the answer.
I think it's people who really don't have a grasp on the issues. They really just take things for face value. They're hearing things like I have a cousin who said to me that he wasn't going to vote for Biden because he doesn't like the fact that Kamala, when she was a prosecutor,
Hmm.
put so many black people behind bars.
Mhm.
Seriously, seriously. Do you? And these are the talking points that people are like. I feel like there is an effort underway. Oh, I think we lost Jay. I feel like there's an effort underway to plant these seeds in the Black community, to plant this doubt so that people are, doubtful of the Democratic Party. Like they keep saying, I keep reading comments like they're both the same, they're all the same.
right,
Right.
right.
Really realize just like what's really going on. And I think it's a lack of information. I think that a lot of people aren't leaning in. Like I have friends who are, full on adults who are like, I don't watch the news, right? They didn't even know there was a debate. They don't know what critical race theory, and they're entrepreneurs, they have their own businesses, but they're just not leaning into the news because they feel like this is not about me. It has nothing to do with me. I'm going to go and work my job and do this and raise my kids and go, go to a concert, and I'm going to go see Usher in Vegas, and I'm going to get my lashes done. And, nobody's,
Oblivious.
they oblivious. They really feel like it doesn't impact me. Whether I vote or not, it doesn't matter. I don't have to lean into this. And this is where the Democratic Party messes up in
Yes.
really not connecting enough with everybody. They do take Black people for granted. And you can see that in these everyday people who feel like there's a disconnect. And these are the people that we need to make sure that Joe Biden wins. I don't care if they have to wheel him in on a gurney.
He's got my vote.
He got my vote. Because
I'm with you.
not only because of the kind of president that he has been, but because
Hmm.
if anything does happen, we already
The
got Kamala.
woman was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kamala's there. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
good. We good.
A lot of
I'm
people
not
don't
worried
even
about him
remember
being.
the chain of command either. They don't remember it's the president, the vice president, the speaker of the house. Everybody's just so focused on how President Biden is, and what the media has portrayed him to be, and this whole thing about, oh well, he's losing his mind, or he has dementia, and oh well, he signed the 94 crime bill, and he's the person that drafted it. And I'm like, how many of you have actually read like the actual facts? Did you read it
Right.
at all?
None
Just,
of them.
Did you
None
read
of them.
anything?
yeah, just
I think going forward with the Democratic Party, in order to beat Trump, they've got to go to Black media, way more than they're going now, and they've got to really find a way to educate Black America on 2024 and some of the decisions that Trump has made, such as abortion, voting rights, and stuff like that.
And that's the other thing. JD
That's the
Vance
other
is
thing.
in
These things
favor.
never
Yeah.
came, none of these things have never come out of Trump's mouth, and they never are going to. And that's the seriousness of this election, that no matter if you're a Trump supporter, he is not, and you're Black, he is not going to change or try to do anything about the things that Black people or people of color really need in this country. And he doesn't have to if he
yeah,
wins. He does
he
not
doesn't
have.
have to.
Well,
He's gonna-
and to talk about Project 2025, that's something that we've been doing in the newsletter and breaking down what it is and what it means to us. Coy Malone is our social justice contributor, talked about the social justice aspect of this program and what it will do to our people in a social justice environment. And Cameron Riley has talked about it, and I did another one yesterday about what it looks like, what this means, not only just in terms of civil service, but about the climate change, all about people and keeping historically Black colleges open, and what Donald Trump has not done, despite what he says, the lies that he has told about, we gave billions to. No, you didn't give billions to the historically Black colleges. The Congressional Black Caucus
right.
put together a bill that your people agreed to, and that gave the billions to the to the historically Black colleges. All of these things, and point by point by point, with the historically viable Project 2025, going back to not to Ronald Reagan, and and his assault on the welfare queens, and how this all started with those people. We've got to keep these points out there and let people know he means no good to our people. He means no good to people of
He means
color.
no good. He means no good for poor white people.
To
And
poor white people, to women,
yeah,
to
he
to,
none.
to
You're
gay
right.
To
people.
immigrants.
Well, they will no longer be immigrants. And
Right.
and his son got mad at somebody on television today because they were talking about the separation of parents and children at the border, which is what was very big in his father's administration. You've
Yeah.
got to talk, you got to keep putting these things out there. Look, your brother may have gone to jail for doing some weed. He shouldn't have. But now the president is pardoning all of these people. Be real about who she is and what she's done, what she is doing, and what they're trying to lead this country to and away from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to.
You're
It,
right.
I mean, I think a lot of people are just taking I think like a lot of people, someone said to me today after the assassination attempt, or I'm sorry, the shooting at the Trump rally, they are saying that it's wrapped up because of this. Trump is going to
Right.
win. And I'm
Right.
like, we can't take
No, we
that.
can't
No.
say that. We
We
can't
have
say
to
that. We
fight
can't act like
until
that.
the last day. It's like those of you out there, and I'm so happy that you're doing this on a regular basis, Sybil, because we have to. I mean, I ask people now, hey, are you registered to vote? Right? You going, who can you bring with you? Because if enough of us go to the polls, we can save this. The Democrats need to stop the infighting. Joe Biden has said he's not going in.
He's not going. He's done
Got
the
a damn
Jennifer Holiday.
gun
He's
from us.
done the Jennifer Hudson
Done.
songs, and he's not going.
Done. Stop putting down our own candidate. It's like, stop it. It is what, if this, Trump is a convicted felon 34 times and has he's a rapist. He's this. Have you heard the Republicans say he's got to step down?
Nope.
I'm so sick of the Democratic Party with this. When they go low, we go high. When they go low, we got to gut them. We got to go low. Stop trying to go high. I love Michelle Obama, but no,
Right.
it has to stop.
Right.
When they
Right.
go low, we go low. When we go, we step on their ass. That's what
Awesome. Let's go. What is happening?
yes.
All the decorum over the weekend. Biden, I'm going to pull my negative campaign ads. And even the media, the way that they were tiptoeing, they took Morning Joe off the air for God's sake this morning because they didn't want anybody out there talking negatively about Trump.
Well, you have to know that the people who own MSNBC are Trump supporters. So with that in mind, that's why that decision could probably be made. But you're absolutely right. I mean, when you have the Republicans saying we need to stop this because this is bad on both sides, it's not. It's not both sides.
No,
and
it's not.
It's just y'all.
Do not fall for the both sides stuff.
Please
don't fall for it.
The Dems are the ones saying it.
Right.
We have to stop this, this political violence. He started it, and they're the only ones doing it. There are no Democrats that are out here, trying to do the things that they're doing. If we protest, they want to gun us down, right? They're the ones that are they are the ones who stormed the Capitol. He was the one, Trump, after Nancy Pelosi's husband was beaten.
Right. And he made fun of it. He made fun of it.
Talked so horribly about her.
And now he gets
violence. And all of a sudden, we're supposed to tiptoe and act like this. Poor Trump. Poor Trump. He almost got killed.
And you don't see Melania doing it. So we're out of time, and I just want to close with a couple of entertainment things, and this is about Black people on planes. The skies have been less than friendly. Did you hear about Terrell Davis, the two-time Super Bowl champion? He put out an Instagram post that said during a United Airlines flight with his wife and 3 children, they were going from Denver to Orange County Saturday. His son asked for a cup of ice during the beverage service, and the flight attendant didn't respond. So David said he calmly reached behind him and lightly tapped the flight attendant on the arm. And the flight attendant shouted, "Don't hit me," and left the beverage cart and to go to the front of the plane. He said he and other passengers were confused as to what was going on. And he said, "I thought nothing of this until that he was, other than he was particularly rude and blatantly wrong, um, but he didn't interact at any other time during the flight. He said when the flight landed, the pilot asked all passengers to remain seated. 6 FBI and law enforcement agents boarded the plane and placed the Super Bowl champion in handcuffs.
Can I just say?
What?
Can I just say this? We all fly a lot. All of us fly a lot. They, and I'm talking about flight attendants, do not like to be touched. Period. In
Well,
any way,
this fella did not like it.
they do not. They don't like it. They don't like to be tapped on the arm, the back, or anything. Now, I'm not saying what he did was wrong, but I'm just saying from the times that I've traveled, I've seen it. And if you say something and they don't respond, do not put your hands on these people because they do not like it. They can read it differently than what it is you intended to do, and you can be in a lot of trouble. So let that be a warning to people who are flying. But sometimes people overreact when you do touch them. So you're right.
So in front of his children and everyone, he was
Yes.
taken off the plane handcuffed, and after talking to the agents, and they determined that perhaps the flight attendant was a little overzealous, and they apologized to him, offering to support him and his family in any way possible. He hasn't heard anything from United, but they have put out a statement. And but he did talk about the traumatizing events on him, his wife, and his 3 children. They apologized, and they said the
He
flight
needs some
attendant involved
free
has been
freaking power
removed.
miles. That's what he needs. Yeah,
For a year.
for a year.
The flight attendant has been removed. That's it.
He has been removed from duty as it reviews the incident.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Well,
No.
it's in Mr. Davis's law firm's hands now. So, but Jackie, here's the other thing. Your girl Pep from Salt and Pepper, Sandra Denton, was left grounded in Vegas after a Southwest Airlines crew deemed her a safety flight risk.
Why?
She was on a flight from Vegas to Nashville for a meeting, and she has a previous knee injury, so she purchased 2 seats on the plane and used the services of a greeter for wheelchair assistance. Once seated on the plane, the flight attendant informed her she wasn't allowed to have both seats because she wasn't in a cast. She said, "I have a brace." She said, "Mm-hmm." She walked away. Then a guy said, "Can I have the seat? Because I'm going to a family funeral." She said, "How do I know you're going to a family funeral? Can you prove it?" He said, "No." And so then, but he ended up being placed in the seat that she paid for.
What?
Yep. Shortly after the man arrived, and they went on, and because of her injury, and they were arguing, giving up her seat, and blah, blah, blah. And so within a few minutes of this, she was removed from the flight with no reason given. When she got off, the Southwest people told her she was removed because she was recording this. Her assistant was recording this, and they didn't feel safe flying with her.
What airline was this?
Southwest.
Wow.
Now she has to go through this. So they have reimbursed her $2,500 for 2 seats, and she's out of the money that she spent to get to the plane and all of this other kind of stuff.
$2,500 on a Southwest flight.
On Southwest?
Yeah, that's wild.
That's all wrong.
Right.
For 2
Yeah,
seats.
something about that ain't right either.
Something's all wrong.
That was
with
a bad omen from the start.
Yeah. That was bad decisions.
That was bad from the minute you say book it. That was
2,500 domestic to Nashville.
2 seats back and forth.
You could fly
round
the rest
trip.
of the rest of your life for that money on Spirit. I'm not.
Right.
That's a lot of money.
You want to fly to Brazil?
We're going to close out with today's jewel. Yogi's jewel is discipline, involves setting clear boundaries and sticking to them even if you don't want to. Well, we wanted to have you all here today. We appreciate your joining us. Jackie, please come back again. And J. Anthony Brown, you're always welcome. And I just want to announce, J. Anthony Brown, I didn't get to get the picture of the book, but J. Anthony Brown has a coloring book coming out.
It's not a coloring book.
He has a book coming out. It's of his drawings.
It's
Of his drawings.
Drawings. See, that's one of his drawings there.
I genuinely got
and
excited for a coloring
It's
book.
called hats. It's called hats. We're gonna. Sybil, could you post it on your newsletter?
Yes, we will.
That. Yeah,
We
all
will.
right.
And
I love that.
Jackie, I'm sorry, Jay and Coy, Yolanda is telling us we got to go. I
Bye bye.
appreciate you
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Aloha.
I wanted a coloring book.